welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is well. Something a little bit different on this video. I'm doing a voiceover, my first, so please bear with me. This is a piece of yew that I'm using. As you can see, I'm marking the center to get our ready to drill to hold into our chuck. My preferred method to fix to the chuck is using a 55mm Forstner bit. I've been using this method for quite a while now, and I find it quite secure and safe, and I'm really happy to use this. And like I say, it's my preferred method. So we've got a blank mounted. We're now going to start shaping the bottom of the bowl. I'm using the Simon Hope 1/2 inch bowl gouge here. I've only had these a short period of time, but I feel since I've had my confidence has grown a little bit. The handles are nice and long. They're quite chunky to give you a good grip. You can keep them tight into your hip, and I feel that I've got a bit more control over them. I'm using a 1/2 inch bowl gouge here. The reason being is because with the 1/2 inch bowl gouge, you can remove quite a bit of material at a time. I know it's not all about speed. But when I'm shaping my bowl, I'll try and remove the material in about 6mm or 1/2 inch cuts, and then once I've done all that and I've got the rough shape that I require, I then pick up the 3/8 bowl gouge and then use that to hone in the final shape I desire. And I find these two working together as a combination team works really well. Some people may do the whole lot in a 3/8 bowl gouge, some people may do the whole lot in a 1/2 inch, but this is my preferred way. Like I say, I'm not a pro turner. I've only been turning about 2.5 years, so I'm still learning. We're now starting to get the shape of a bowl. It's going to be just a traditional shaped bowl, nothing too special. Martin Sabia Smith always says you should try and get the perfect curve on your bowl, sort of thing. If you're holding 2 bits of string between each fingers, this is a natural curve. That's the sort of shape you should be looking for. Obviously there's other shapes, and you know what I mean, we all want to try new stuff. When people talk about how quick it takes to turn and how much you can take off at a pass, I personally think it's all down to the individual. Obviously new turners, I want to be a little bit more confident and a little bit more cautious of their passes, and it's like anything that you do, the more you do of it, the more confident you get. When I first started using traditional tools, I was very nervous every pass, because if you don't hold the gouge, probably going to get snatches, you're going to get catches. It's just, and it does frighten you. I've had a few catches and it does frighten you, and like I say, for the first year or so I really shied away from using traditional tools because of that purpose. But like, I'm a great believer in that you should really be enjoying what you're doing, and every pass should be an enjoyment. So here we are, we're cutting the mortise in now for our piece. This is so we can reverse the bowl into the lathe to do the inside of our bowl. To cut my mortises, I use the record power parting tool. Then I clean out the center with a 3/8 bowl gouge, and then I usually use a flat bladed scraper just to clean up the bottom of my mortise to give me a nice smooth finish. Bottom of the bowl's all done, all shaped. Now we're going to be sanding. I'm using the Simon Hope Pro sander. Great piece of equipment, really do love it. And I'm sanding this from, I believe it was 80 to 400 grit, so to get a nice smooth finish. All sanded. Now we're going to use some cellulose sand and sealer. This is Chestnut Products sand and sealer. I only use 2 different types. I use this one and then the Hampshire Sheen one, but I only normally use the Hampshire Sheen one if I'm colouring. But so we're giving it a nice generous coat of sand and sealer. I normally give it 2 to 3 coats. I find the more coats you give it, the better finish you'll get. Unfortunately, this wasn't the best bit of wood. There was a couple of cracks that are repaired in it when I turned it down. So we're using the StarBond CA glue. This is the fin, so I run the fin in first just so it's soaked deep into the grain, and then give it a spray of activate. I did that a couple of times, and then I went over it with the medium just to fill the hole in and give it a secure fix in. As you can see, there's a couple of cracks, But strangely enough, it didn't break actually on the cracks, it broke somewhere totally different, as you'll see later on in the video. So we're just rehoning the outside, just basically because we put the CA glue in it, or super glue, whatever you want to call it. We had to just clean up the outer edge because obviously where the overspill of the super glue was. So I'm just quickly reshaping the outside with some fine cuts with the 3/8 bowl gouge, and we just quickly sand it back up to 400 to be resand and sealed, ready for our final finish. Now we're sanded back, we're just reapplying our Chestnut Products sand and sealer just to seal in that grain, because obviously we turned it back once we put the super glue in it. People may ask why I sand and sealed it then super glued it. The reason being is with that, if you get any super glue over your wood, it will not soak into the grain. So I found it's a beneficial way to just increase the risk of having super glue penetration into your wood. So try it, it helps, and it does really work. So just a little tip that I've picked up along the way of my learning journey. All ready for our finish. This is, I'm using here the Hampshire Sheen High Gloss Wax, which to be honest is my preferred wax to use. I found with the Hampshire Sheen wax that if you put a couple of coats on, you get a real deep rich shine. And like I said prior, I think giving it a couple of free coats of sand and sealer benefits you, because I always find that once you give it a couple of coats of sand and sealer, you always end up with a real I personally think you get a better shine. Because obviously you've sealed the wood prior, so the wax can't soak in as deep into the wood. So I normally leave this 10 to 15 minutes to soak in, come back, buff it up, and if required then I will give it a second coat. I mean, depending on how much of a shine you want. A lot of people don't like deep shines, but I'd like to try and get a nice mirror finish shine if I can. This is one of my favourite parts of turning the bowl. It's now the polishing time to bring out that nice deep shine. And I always find that when you polish a piece up, it sort of enhances all the detail of the wood and brings out some of the hidden parts that you didn't notice before you polished it. And it's just so nice when it finishes up and you end up with a beautiful shine. And as you can see there, this is from one coat of Hampshire Sheen gloss. Nice shine on it, nice, it's not perfect mirror shine, but it's got a nice shine on it. So I did apply a second coat, I'll be honest. Here we are, just putting on a second coat, obviously speed up because you guys don't want to see me keep putting wax on. So yeah, second coat, polished up, and you'll see how deep the shine is once we finish the second coat. So here we go, here's the final deep shine with the second coat of Hampshire Sheen. As you can see, there's a lot of difference. There's a mirror finish on the back, which is a great improvement from the first coat. So we're now going to flip it and get it ready to hog out, or should I say hollow out the actual bowl. The front is not a very pretty piece of wood. There's a few inclusions, and you can see where the super glue's come through where we've obviously glued the crack up, but hopefully it's going to come out okay. As I did on the rear of the bowl, I'm using the 1/2" Simon Hope bowl gouge, just mainly to get rid of a lot of the material. You know, it's not a speed race, but it's just nice to be able to remove quite a chunky bit of material per pass. I'm taking around about 1/2" passes here just to get rid of some of the inner part of the bowl. I was a little bit dubious with where I've super glued that may come open with the force of the spinning of the bowl, so I kept stopping and checking it. And every time I checked it, it was fine. So I was quite happy to carry on turning out the middle. As you can see, I always take out the outer and leave the center core. This gives you a little bit of stability on your bowl. It stops the sides flexing so much, so it's always beneficial to take the outer edge off, leave the core in, and just gently take it down a little bit. So I'm now coming through with my passes. Obviously I was quite happy with this at this point, and again just checking it, making sure it's going. I was just coming through, so I was just coming through to where the inclusion was, because I wanted a bit of a gap in there. And as you can see, when we stop it, you can just see where the inclusion is, and that's when it started to go Pete Tong, as we should say. This is just a final slow pass with the 3/8 bowl gouge that I was doing, and then there you go, bang, it blew up in my face, and it was a bit of a shock, I will be honest. There was no signs of it, there's no vibration, there was no noise change. Normally when they do it, you can hear the bowl change sound, but there was none of that. It just totally went, and it fripped the yeah, it put the wind up me, let's put it that way. I am made to be. So once I composed myself and picked up the pieces, I thought I'd have a look and see actually what happened. And the funny thing was, this crack had actually, or where it had cracked and split apart, was actually right beside where I'd superglued. So the actual superglue held, but it must have been a flaw in the timber or the blank, which allowed it to separate and explode. And like I say, it just proves how important safety equipment is, or PPE is, should we say. So anyway guys, that's the video. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for coming over and watching. Please let me know what you think about the voiceover, if you like it, if you don't like it, and put a comment in and let me know. And if it works, then it's possible that I'll most probably do some more. So anyway guys, take care, speak to you soon, and bye for now.